would have known that you could put mac and cheese on top of a turkey leg? Like, I changed the game with this one.
I tell you, the turkey leg is so tender. It just, like I said, falling off the bone.
If you're in Houston, you have to come to the Turkey Leg Hut. It is so worth the wait, and it's all about the hype, okay?
Hi, I'm Nakia Price, owner of Turkey Leg Hut in Houston, Texas.
Hi, I'm Lundell Price, the owner of Turkey Leg Hut in Houston, Texas.
We started in the field in 2016, transporting people back and forth into the Houston rodeo.
We had a parking lot, pulling people back and forth. We saw the need for food. Me and my wife came up with the concept of the turkey leg.
Before we knew it, we had people actually coming to eat outside of the rodeo instead of going into the rodeo. We went to a small location thereafter, and we opened this location in December of 2017.
The food's amazing, the environment's amazing. You never know who you may see. It's absolutely worth the wait.
Everybody's been raving about it. I had to make a 48-hour reservation to get here. We tried basically everything on the menu.
Everything with us has been trial and error. We don't have a culinary background.
You know, we're foodies, so we know what's good.
Our turkey legs are not the average turkey leg. Everything in Texas is big. They're huge portions. They're shareable. They're so tender that they literally fall right off the bone. And all we give you is a fork. Nothing else is needed.
This turkey leg making my taste buds do the Harlem Shake right now, man. Like, it's so good.
Because everybody wants to know what we put inside of our turkey legs. All of our employees sign a non-disclosure agreement for our trade secrets, recipes, and everything that basically happens within the establishment. Our first turkey leg is the original turkey leg. That's a plain turkey leg. It has all of our seasonings, all the different vegetables that are stuffed inside of the turkey leg. Then you have your stuffed turkey leg, and that's stuffed with dirty rice. And the dirty rice has a kick to it.
I ordered a stuffed turkey leg with jerk sauce, and it is fabulous.
Our most popular is the signature turkey leg, which is a shrimp Alfredo stuffed turkey leg. The flavors are awesome.
You can't go wrong with anything you order at the Turkey Leg Hut.
You get a lot of different celebrities that come in here.
Kevin Hart, Drake, lots of NBA, NFL players, Snoop Dogg.
And all they do is post because it's so good. Like I tell you, good food sells itself.
We have people that literally come from different countries, different states.
South Dakota, North Dakota, you know, you like, man.
We drove 191 miles.
I drove straight from San Antonio, straight to the Turkey Leg Hut, and stood in line.
Just to see people literally lined up 2 hours before we open. I still can't even explain to you how it feels.
It's ooh, you know, that's what keeps me going, that's what keeps my staff going, that's what keeps us going. There's no words that we can say, thank you.
They changed the game, bro. This is amazing.
I just wanted to give you all a little background on this couple, Lynn and Nakia Price, and how they got started in this business and how it really was a rags to riches story. Well, I don't know necessarily rags to riches, but I mean in terms of the business and how it came about. They literally started from a small stand on a street. And, you know, you heard them. They went from shuttling people, I guess, into shuttling out food to customers. But it's a different thing when you go from selling food locally on the streets to a full brick and mortar business. And now you are selling to a clientele of customers that ranges anywhere from dozens to hundreds to potentially thousands of people, right? So 2024 has turned out to be a terrible year for the highly popular eatery known as the Turkey Leg Hut, okay? And this story is a bit of a tragic one in terms of the way it has ended. But I think there's a few things to glean from this story. Now, before we get into it, all of the scandal involving this joint and everything that, you know, happened afterwards, let me say that I don't want to come off as if I'm bashing this restaurant or this couple, despite what the title of the video is. Because hardships and bad times, it says that it rains on the just and the unjust. So it can happen to anyone, right? But this is more of a cautionary tale to anyone out there who may be unaware of the things that can befall you as a business owner with no knowledge of how to run a business from a financial standpoint. This is why Smart businessmen and women hire certified professional accountants. I'm letting you know that now off rip before we even get into it. This is why they hire certified tax consultants, because running a business is not easy. Despite how everyone makes it look on Instagram and Facebook, this channel is called Millionaire Money Minds, and I wholeheartedly believe that it takes a millionaire money mindset in order to attain any kind of elevated financial success. I believe that we have to first arm and equip ourselves with the mindset of a successful millionaire before we can ever get to the actual goal, or just risk losing it all, right? Like this couple did. But let's get to it. Listen. So this joint started out with very humble beginnings, as you heard, right? Started off as a small street eat stand and then blossomed into a full brick and mortar business. But this is where things just went from bad to absolutely worse to catastrophic for this business. Back in September of this year, the Turkey Leg Hut was hit with 35 different health code violations. I got the list pulled up right here. Let's check it out. The Houston Health Department shut down Turkey Leg Hut on Thursday due to these violations. The health department said the restaurant was issued 35 violations, including conditions that pose an imminent threat to public health. Health officials said that the restaurant has to remain closed until the issues are resolved and they can do a follow-up inspection to ensure the correct measures were taken. Now, if y'all know anything about the health department, they don't play no games, and they can't afford to play any games because we're talking about people's health being at risk here. All right. So you have the food establishment inspection report. I'm not going to go through the whole thing because this document spans across 8 different pages of things that they were cited for. I'm going to just rattle off some of them here that are listed. Observed open ice bags in commercial ice freezer located outside the establishment. Listen, if anybody knows that you have to have such a tight lid on everything within the restaurant. Why? Because again, people's health are at risk. There are certain things that you can't miss. There are certain items that you can't have close to other products, fresh livestock or fresh foods, meats and there's certain things that you cannot mix and commingle in an area. It has to be isolated and it has to be properly packaged and stored, right? So that's just a few. General food not in sound condition, not safe for human consumption. Let's see if we can get a couple more in here. General food stored in locker rooms, dressing rooms, garbage room, mechanical rooms. Observed food items, bulk seasoning, etc., food equipment, and single service articles stored in various storage units consisting of wood cabinet located outside the kitchen. Let's see what else. Observe thermometer and prep coder not working and not properly located. Listen, the health inspection, I know that a lot of y'all probably, if you've ever owned a business, you probably hate to see them coming. But there's a reason that we have these things in place, right? So, again, this list of violations is 8 pages long. But something else happened, okay? So they get hit with the 35 violations in September of this year. Have to shut down. Now, people are still believing that at some point they'll get their act together and they'll get back up on that saddle. They'll get everything in working order and that they'll come back and reopen the business. Well, not so fast. Because behind the scenes, what people did not know is that the financial problems and troubles of this business had been going on for far too long. And they had been going on and dragging out for a long time, and it had finally caught up to them. What are you talking about? Well, let's take a look. Turkey Leg Hut owner explains layoffs and why her estranged husband was let go. So, this happened apparently before the 35 before the 35 health code violations. So back in February, following the news last week that Lindell Price was forcibly leaving the turkey leg hut, that is the gentleman that you saw in that video, owned by his estranged wife, Nakia Holmes, Holmes released a statement addressing the departure as well as layoffs and a payment gap that occurred during the leadership change. So, behind closed doors, both Lindell and Nakia Price were going through relationship issues within the marriage. And you can bet your bottom dollar that most of that had been spawned and came on by what was happening within the business at the same time. They had come upon some financial troubles. They had been mismanaging funds to the point to where it had begun affecting the business. Let's continue. 6 employees were furloughed following an investigation into the company's finances, including her estranged husband's, Lindell Price. Reportedly, the Turkey Leg Hut hasn't paid its employees for the previous 2 weeks. So they had gotten so bad financially to the point to where they were no longer capable of paying their employees to work. After gaining strength from leaving an abusive marriage, I was subsequently made aware of potential financial mismanagement at my company. Holmes wrote in a statement shared with CW39. This prompted me to initiate a meticulous review, right, with my new finance team. Unfortunately, we quickly uncovered financial discrepancies that demanded immediate action. This led to a temporary 2-week payroll delay and the difficult decision to lay off 6 valued team members, promising their employment in late summer. If it was me, I don't want you to fire me and then come back 6 weeks later or several months later talking about, hey, we got a position for you again, especially if the working conditions were such that I wasn't even getting paid for the time and sweat equity that I had built up and put in at your business. Holmes filed for divorce from Price in May of 2023. So last year, things got so bad that they ended up filing for divorce. Who could have seen that coming? Price posted the notice he received from a representative of the management consultant firm apparently hired by Holmes to review the restaurant's books to Instagram, which he deleted the next day. Our immediate plan is to address the 2-week back pay promptly and continue on the path to ensuring the Turkey Leg Hut is celebrated not just for our nationally known cuisine, but also for our exemplary business practices. That's funny. Cementing our commitment to a stronger, more cohesive future. In a message to employees in a group chat, Holmes said her personal journey has undergone considerable changes, including a divorce that in more ways than one has impacted not just my life, but the operational stability of our business. Listen, as an employee, you don't want to hear nothing about what the owner is going through. Honestly, I'm sorry. You don't have no friends here. If I came to work for you, I need my paycheck. I got a family too. I got mouths to feed too. I need to be able to take care of myself as well. And if I put in the work, I expect to get that paycheck. I don't want to hear nothing about what you got going on at home. That should not affect the business. But when you have no business acumen for real, this is what happens. Let's continue. The Turkey Leg Hut is navigating a pivotal moment of transformation, necessitating difficult decisions. I apologize to my employees who felt the blows. My hope is to invite them back once we have fully recovered. Good luck with that. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, maybe we should lend some grace to Nakia Price, who is obviously going through this emotional separation and divorce with her husband, who she has called abusive, right? So she's been abused. She's breaking off the marriage. The marriage is done. She's filing for divorce. She's going through all these different things. She's discovered that the books have not been kept in order and that her husband has not been financially sound in managing the company's finances. All of this, right? So you're probably thinking, well, maybe we should give her some grace. Not so fast. Because behind the scenes, let me show you what Nakia Price was doing. While she was blaming her husband for the mismanagement of funds for the business, let me show you what she was doing on her end financially.
More legal trouble for Houston's well-known Turkey Leg Hut. Grammy-nominated gospel singer James Fortune and his wife are now suing restaurant owner Nakia Price, claiming they put more than $300,000 into the restaurant and now they're out of the money.
Sherman Chow now with a story you'll only see on KHO 11 News, as the Turkey Leg Hut is still closed since last Thursday because of 35 health code violations.
James Fortune, gospel singer, husband, and investor. In 2018, he and wife Raquel met Nakia and Lindell Price at the Price's popular Third Ward restaurant. Turkey Leg Hut seemed the epitome of success.
We go to their home. We spend time, our kids interacted with each other.
Then last December, as the Prices were in the throes of a contentious divorce, the Fortunes say they loaned Nakia, as the restaurant's owner, $100,000. 2 months later, Raquel says Nakia phoned.
She was hysterical because the comptrollers were physically there to seize assets, and so she needed financial assistance immediately.
The Fortunes then say they put in $180,000 for 15% ownership of the Turkey Leg Hut. The next month, the Fortunes tell us Nakia couldn't pay bills.
So she asked if I would use my personal card to purchase food for the business.
The Fortunes say they spent thousands paying for food supplies and services. Then, on March 26th, Turkey Leg Hut filed for bankruptcy, declaring less than $50,000 in assets.
By then, we're, $300,000 in. Bankruptcy was filed a month after we had given that money. We come to find out there's millions in debt now.
Over the past several weeks, I went to the Turkey Leg Hut, contacted employees, attorneys, and Nakia Holmes requesting an interview, which she declined. The Fortunes say in hopes of keeping the restaurant afloat, they even paid some employees when Turkey Leg Hut did not.
Did you take a business risk and it just didn't work out, as opposed to something more nefarious?
I think I allowed my friendship to blind me in a lot of areas. It's no words to describe the level of pain, hurt, and frustrations.
The Fortunes say they put in nearly $400,000 into the restaurant. Now they are suing and praying in hopes of getting their money back. The Fortunes lawsuit alleges they were defrauded concerning the financial state of Turkey Leg Hut, and claimed that Nakia Price falsely indicated that the restaurant was unencumbered and free of all liabilities when she sold them partial ownership.
But wait, there's more.
No, this has been one of the worst experiences I've ever been in. This has taught me that no matter who, don't trust people with money, but I've been debating on if I should speak about this for a long time because I was like, I don't want to come from a place of being evil and malicious. I just wanted to be informative. So I'm just going to let y'all know, what happened, why did it happen. So backstory on me and Nakia, who's the owner of Turkey Leg Hut, she used to be my boss. Before before I had my business, I used to work under her, and I worked under her before Turkey Leg Hut was as big as what it is now. So I got to experience going through the process of working with her on hands and her business blowing up and then her turning into this mega millionaire. And it was the most inspirational shit ever. That's one person I was I am so yeah, I worked under her and my business blew up and I turned into a businesswoman and I would always call her for advice for anything. And we would always talk. That was I would consider her one of my friends / mentor / mom / sister. That was our relationship. And I don't know, she's been recently going through legal trouble with her husband and with the restaurant. But anytime, she crossed my mind or anytime I seen anything in the blogs, and one of my close friends, Frankie, they got really cool, I would always check on her. Check on her through him and then check on her through her. I would, hey, are you okay? God has da-da-da-da. I'm always feeling her spirit with shit. So yeah, that was our dynamic. When I came to town, I hung with her, whatever. So she called me and she asked me for a favor. She was like, hey, I need a favor. I need to show this balance in my account, and I'm gonna give it right back to you on Tuesday. This is a Friday, so I'm gonna give it right back to you on Tuesday. I have to show this balance because like basically they're threatening to like detain me, but I don't need to spend it. Like I just need it there because I have money. It's just like in this account I don't. And so I'm like, okay.
Let's pause right there. She said, I need to borrow some money. I don't need to spend it. I just need to show that I have the balance in my account. She said, now I'm going to give it right back to you because I got money. I got money, right? I just don't have it in this particular account, ma'am. Ma'am, if you have the money, why couldn't you just transfer that money that you have to this account? I'm not understanding what the problem is, but therein lies the first problem. You're a liar. She should have seen that, but because she wanted to be a quote unquote good friend and she looked at her as a mentor, she was able and willing to overlook these discrepancies in her statements. Let's continue.
She's like, that's $75,000. And mind you, like I said, this is a mentor. This is my boss. This is the lady that $75,000. That shit that I used to work under them. So $75,000 was like a day's of work. So in my head, I'm like, okay, you know, for her to even come and ask me, you know, let me just show up where I can because I look up to this lady and there's no way she wouldn't pay me back. Like, there's no way she wouldn't pay me back, you know?
So, hold on, wait a minute. You're moving a little too fast. So the text says, good morning. I need a huge favor. Call me when you get a second. So I'm assuming this is where she asked for the money. It's a Navy Fed account. 75 flat, she asked. Yes, ma'am. You can send it back to the same account Tuesday. I'll send you the info. So she lends her $75,000. $75,000. This is not her mama. This is not her dad. $75,000. All right? Tells her you can send it back to the same account. She says, okay, cool. Do I send flight details to Frankie? He's coming. Put us in a group text. I already told him, though. All right. More messages. She says, I sent her those funds in 5 minutes. So she sent her 75,000 stacks. 75 stacks. She sent her in 5 minutes because I thought that I could trust her, and I looked up to this lady. She was my boss. Your boss should never need $75,000 from you, the employee. But let's continue. You cannot begin to understand how grateful I am for you doing that for me. I am really floored. I can't stop crying. I can't even articulate the words, Tori. You have always been my baby, but girl, I promise you if there's anything I can ever do for you, please do not ever hesitate to let me know. How about you pay me back the fucking money that you owe me? That's what you could do for me. But let's continue. I love you so much. Thank you. You don't even know what you just did for me. She says, of course, I know how hard that is. If anybody has taught me about doing right by your people, it's you. You've always had my back, so without a doubt, I got yours. I'm waiting on Frankie so I can arrange and have you talk to home. So her boss comes and asks her for $75,000, and against her better judgment, she agrees to give her the money because she is trying to be a good friend. She is trying to be a reliable friend, and she's trying to have the back of the person that she considered a powerful and strong mentor in her life. But let me show you how your own people will fuck you over and not care about you or what you have to do with that money at all.
So sure enough, it was a Friday, and I was like, I don't think I can send it. She was like, no, call Navy Federal, I have an account. And I called Navy Federal, and they sent her the money in 5 minutes. It was actually like one of those, like, I didn't call my manager, I didn't call my financial advisor. I was just being a genuine friend. I was just being like, okay, she needs me, like, and I know what she's been going through. Like, she will never burn me. Like, why not? Like, she was like, if anything, this will help me in abundance with God, shit with her. You know, just even being somebody that's there when you probably feel like you have nobody. So in my head, I'm like, wow, you know, let me just make sure I show up for her.
Let me tell you something. God would not have even told you to give her ass $75,000. That ain't God talking to you.
So I have a place in New York and I have a place in Houston. And at the time, I was in my place in New York. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Houston. Whenever I get to Houston, you know, just choose. And I didn't even ask for collateral. I was like, she was like, I know you, like, you don't, like, I can give you collateral. I was like, girl, it's going to come right back on Tuesday. Like, I don't need to get collateral, whatever. So Tuesday rolled around and I sent her my bank information because I'm like, oh, my money is not in my account. Let me just text her. Maybe she don't have the information. And so I texted her, I'm like, hey, this is the information. She's like, oh, I thought I pressed send on this message. I'm about to tag the message 1 second.
Uh-oh. Hold on. No. We got to read that. She said, oh, so Tuesday rolls around. The money is not in her account. So she's like, hey, let me just go ahead and send her my bank account information so that she can send me my money. To that, she responds, oh, I thought that I had sent you this message. I thought that I had pressed send. Oops, silly me, I didn't. So let's read the message. This is terrible.
I'm about to tag the message 1 second.
All right. The message says, I thought I sent this to you earlier. Apparently, I forgot to hit send. Thank you again so much for being there when I needed you. Things are finally turning around. Great. Where's my money then? And your help has been crucial in keeping the momentum. Momentum? Okay. We had a really good weekend with sales, and I should have no problem paying you back. However, I didn't take into consideration the holiday, and it delayed things for a few days with the bank and the POS system. Chase and Toast have not been working well together lately, just FYI. Would you mind if I pay you back this weekend? In the meantime, I will give you something to hold as collateral. I know you don't want it, but it would make me feel more comfortable. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a classic case of a bullshit artist at work.
And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, it's taking me so much to speak about this because, number one, I don't really like to post anything negative or anything pertaining to business on, like, especially negative things on my page. And so I've been battling with, like, if I should even say anything. But like I said, when I wanted to say something, I wanted to make sure it came from a place of me being more, like, informative and not, you know, malicious or just being evil toward her or her situation. And I don't know, I just feel like my feelings are hurt. Like, I'm very, I'm more so just like, what? This is unbelievable. This is a lady that I used to work under, that I used to look up to. She saw me grow my business from, like, the ground up by myself, no investors, and you take from me, and you know that I supply for my family, and you know that I have, like, it's just mind-boggling still today, even me talking about it. But anyways, so yeah, she owed me the money. She didn't pay me. You see the message. She's like, hey, I'm going to wait. So then that time passed, and then another time passed, and then another time passed. And then she gets me on the phone. She basically has me now talking to someone named Carmen, who is like her assistant manager, and she's like washed her hands with it. And she's like posting pictures on vacation. And so I'm texting her like, where's...
So not only have you not paid me back my money, but now you take to Instagram and you're posting photos of you on vacation. This is exactly how people end up in a casket, bro. This is exactly how people end up in a casket. You do not play around with people's money. And more than that, you took advantage of her, of this young lady, who believed in you so much to where she was willing to wire you $75,000 in under 5 minutes. And she did it without a second thought because she thought that you were a friend. You took advantage of her, didn't pay her back when you said you were, and all of a sudden now you popping up with pictures of you enjoying probably a nice beach somewhere. Oh no. You playing with me.
Where's my money? Where's my money? Hey, where's my money? Karma will handle it. And so they was like, oh, we'll promise you a food truck with a title. We'll promise you an old school with the title. We'll promise you this and we can cash out all of that. Oh, and I have the recordings for that too. I'll tag those too.
You promise her a food truck? What the hell is she supposed to do with the food truck? I'm sorry, is she in the business, in the food industry as well? What is she supposed to do with what am I going to do with a food truck? Where is my money? And why am I having to talk to a third party now who had nothing to do with our original arrangement? Classic bullshit artist at work. Turns out Nakia is a piece of shit. But let's continue.
And then after that, I'm noticing like I'm not getting nothing in return. She gives me an AP watch, right? So I'm like, okay, I have this AP watch, and the AP is fake. The AP that's been worn, that shit is fake.
Hey, no update? The watch was bought to the Diamond District and multiple jewelers, and there's a problem with the face. It's tilted. With no papers, the highest offer was $8K. I didn't sell it because that is pointless. Can you connect me with Jimmy? There's too many aftermarket pieces on FGW watch. They're saying the watch is fake. So what are the next? I can't get no funds from the watch. Nakia responds and says, what? The watch is fake? I purchased that watch from Jimmy. If the watch is fake, then we have a huge problem. Send me who said that, please. Why do I need to go through all these hoops in order to get my money? Now we're talking about me tracking down the people who said, jewelers who said that the watch was fake. And you talking about it's a huge problem? No, the huge problem is you. The huge problem is the fact that you still haven't repaid me the money that you said should have been in my account months ago. Because you are a liar. And you never had the money. Every jeweler in Houston, it doesn't have a AP face. Wow. Incredible. She says, I know what the bezel of an AP looks like. I know what I had done to my watch aftermarket. This is the reason why I said to give it to Jimmy, who I purchased it from, for him to move it. So now I got to take something that you gave me, which is a fake. I'm supposed to take it to some jeweler so that he can then move it, quote unquote, and get some funds from it so that he can give to me. Are you kidding me? The band is aftermarket, so doesn't make bands with logo on the back. The band isn't AP. She said, I just said I had the bezel changed. She said, I said the band, not the bezel. Regardless, I've been trying to give it to Jimmy. Yesterday, I told you to update. I couldn't give it to him, but in the meantime, because he seems to be taking forever, I had to watch. I'm reading this as she typed it. All right, y'all. This is not, I can read. I promise you. I had to look at from other jewelers like Jimmy, and no one wants it. They're saying it's fake. I'm just a messenger. Johnny Dang and Emmett said out of their own mouth. The watch isn't real. Only one jeweler would get it just because of the diamonds for $8K. She responded and said, you have not been trying to give it to Jimmy. You're giving me and Carmen the runaround. Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. She says, communication, and I had someone interested to buy they just needed to see the watch. They seen it and turned it down. That's what made me go to other jewelers. Outside of that, Carmen kept saying she don't want nothing to do with this. So I made you point of contact. Stop making it seem like I'm being difficult when Carmen is saying she want nothing to do. How you expect me to move forward with you not answer on your end? Why is this prolonged anyway? The watch has there should be other things you could sell to get funds because the top jewelers here don't want it. Outside of that, I'm not getting $50K for it. Let alone, is what she meant, $75K. So what's the next steps? She said, get me the watch so that I can let Jimmy know that what he sold to me is fake. What the hell does that got to do with the $75K? She says, I'm not going to lie. I've been trying to be patient with you, but this is becoming ridiculous. I sent you my money in under 5 minutes, and the way I'm getting treated in the loopholes that I have to go through to get my funds to take care of my business and family is crazy. I just want my money. I don't want nothing to do with your watch problems. Facts.
Okay, so she gives me a watch and she gives me her car, right? And the car is like it's a Mercedes, like GT63. So I have it parked, whatever. And the watch, I'm figuring out this is not collateral because it's not worth anything. Y'all see the messages. And so I'm like, oh my God, this car. And I get in the car. I basically talked to Frankie right one night. We drunk. He's been like super weird about this whole thing, by the way. But like one night we got drunk and I was like emotional. So I'm telling him, I'm like, bro, I can't believe she's doing this to me. And he's just like, I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm probably gonna have to sue her. He's like, yeah, don't do that. You have her car, you have her watch, her car's paid off. You can go and do that because I'm not gonna lie, like I've been knowing everything this entire time. But before he was saying, I don't know nothing. And that night he was like, I know everything, and all she gonna do if you try to sue her is counter sue you. I was like, counter sue me for what? So at this point I hire a lawyer, and then I'm like, bro, I don't know what to do with this car. Frankie told me this car is paid off. So the last resort, I swear I didn't want to do this. I called her husband. Mind you, I know everybody's following their story, but they're going through like a very nasty divorce. And he's like, I'm on Nakia. Like, I would never call her husband. So, but at this point, she's not answering the phone. She's not answering text. Carmen's not answering. Carmen's like, I'd wash my hands with this. I said, okay, well, I'm going to call Lynn. So I called him and I'm like, hey, like, I don't mean to get you involved, but like, Nakia asked me for money and I gave it to her and it's been months down the line. She owed me. I don't know what to do. He gets on the phone. So at this point, I'm on the phone with Lynn and I guess him and Nakia are at odds. So he's telling me everything. He's like, yeah, she's spending so much she can't afford it. Like, I'm sending her money every week. And he then sends me a picture inside of the apartment that she said she hasn't seen this man in months. And he's like kicked up laid like in her apartment. But she's like online saying like, oh, this man is my abuser, So I'm like behind her, army and troop. But he still has like connections and dealings with her. So I'm like, okay, this is becoming weird. And he's like, yeah. I was like, so where's my money? Oh, well, that's my wife. Like we missed out on mad properties. We missed out on 3 properties because of her. She owes my mom $60,000. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm really not gonna get my money back.
Nope, you're not gonna get your money. Bottom line, you're not going to get your money. Sorry, your money is gone. This is why it's important to follow. Listen, if you have any ounce of common sense, follow that, please. Somebody who is taking $75,000 from you does not have that money anywhere. How they going to pay it back to you? They ain't got it. So listen, perhaps if Lindell and Nakia hadn't been so cocky and arrogant about their success, despite their ignorance on how to successfully run a business, then they could have at some point had the foresight, or at the very least, the business acumen to notice that there's a hole in the hull of the ship and that they were dangerously close to sinking. Listen to what I'm telling you. I know it's often costly and time-consuming to do the things the right way in business. That's why shortcuts were created, right? But there's a reason we have state laws and regulations in place when it comes to business practices. There's a reason smart business owners seek outside resources in order to help in areas that they know is a struggle for them. That's what makes all the difference between a smart and successful business owner and the owner who wanted to avoid learning the tricks and tools of the trade through studying and mentorship. They wanted to forego that. Lindell and Nakia thought that they didn't need any outside guidance. They said that everything that they had learned was self-taught and that they didn't need any schooling. They thought that they didn't need to learn about how to run a restaurant and all of the undisclosed intricacies of operating efficiently, right? They thought they didn't need to attend business classes and learn about the safety measures that they teach you when you're going to school to become a licensed chef. They didn't need to become a licensed chef. They were wrong. And their ignorance and arrogance cost them what could have been a very lucrative and successful franchise that was all over the country. This is a harsh lesson, okay, in the importance of wisdom and self-awareness. But even bigger than that, it's a lesson in how poor character can absolutely destroy hard work and generational wealth and your wildest dreams that have come true in one fell swoop. Do not be like Lindell and Nakia. See you in the next video.